The replacement index, what is it and how is it made up?
Okay, Adam, yeah, the replacement index is the main genetic index of beef cattle really in Ireland. When you hear the word replacement, you think it's all going to be milk and fertility, and there'll be no beef in there. But actually it's not. The milk and fertility out of it makes up about 40%, and then we have beef, trace, carcass weight, carcass conformation, feed intake, cow and calf in there. So the crucial point to remember in this is that even though it says replacement, and you might think it's all maternal milk and fertility, there's an awful amount of it is actually beef carcass weight, because of course we want suckler cows to have good beef performance as well.
So some people would say because there's so much milk and fertility that it's driving down quality of our weanings, it's driving down quality of our, I suppose, carcass, it's driving down the quality of our carcass and the weight of our carcass. When you look at, suppose, national data, and that's really the only way to look at this stuff is on a national basis, on a national herd basis. What are we seeing in terms of, is it driving down quality or what are you seeing?
Yeah, no, to be honest, to answer your question, no it's not. When you look at beef out of the actual suckler herd, quality is holding its own, if not going up a little bit. So we pulled out maybe 250,000 records from the database in 2014. The average carcass weight, this is of steers, was 380 kilos, or grade at 29 months.
So this is just from the suckler herd, isn't it?
Yeah, from the suckler herd in Ireland, not beef from the dairy, straight out of the suckler herd. In 2017 then, a few years on, using stars and people concentrating on the index, the carcass weight has gone up 386, the conformation has held its own, but the crucial one is the age of slaughter has come down. So it's quicker to finish these animals. And the two bullocks in front of us have come out of Tully. The reason we picked them, this mental fella and this lad standing up, is because they're by 5-star beef AI bulls. So if you hear everything that's going on, these cattle shouldn't be of much quality, but they actually are. They're of 5-star. They're by 5-star sires, they're weighing well, their feed efficiency is good. So no, we haven't seen the quality go down in the suckler. I think where it comes from is the beef from the dairy herd, to be fair, that has decreased in quality, alright, and that's what people, when they see it go through the marts of the factories, they think the stars have brought down the quality for everything. But no, we're only interested in, breeding our replacements and our beef cattle from the suckler herd, and the quality hasn't gone back.
In terms of just, you touched on the dairy herd there, in terms of looking at that, and in terms of looking at carcass weight within those animals, would it be fair to say that we maybe need to look a little bit more at the carcass weight of some of those animals going from the dairy herd? I think there was a stat last week, was it 7 out of the top 10 AI bulls used on the dairy herd last year were minus for carcass weight? So the dairy farmer isn't concerned with carcass weight whatsoever in terms of his choice of bulls he's used on the dairy herd.
Look, Adam, I suppose our number one goal up to now has been on the suckler herd having a good replacement index, a good terminal index, okay, to get that herd going in the right direction. And we can go into these if you want, but they're there to be seen. The average calving intervals, calves per cow per year, age of first calving, these have all been improving. Now we've a new index coming out in the next 6 months, which is the dairy beef index.
So what will that do?
This will allow now Adam, a dairy man to pick a beef bull, who will actually give him a good calf on the ground that'll actually go on then to do well in the factory in the mart. So, okay, it will have easy calving, but he will also have to have good carcass weight, good carcass conformation as well. So, if we just went on easy calving and honed in on that trait, we'd leave the carcass weight and conformation behind us, which is, you're right, which is what is happening. So we have to come out with this dairy beef index now, so we're going to have a third index now. Because there's so much beef now coming out of the dairy herd, we have to address it.
A lot of milk and fertility will say focus traits within this replacement index. So if people are using the index, it will say milk and fertility, and those will say genetic, will say replacement traits should be improving on a national basis. Is it driving decision making on farms, or are people not passing any marks on it?
No, it is. I mean, you look at bull sales now in terms of that. Bulls with higher stars, 4 and 5 stars, are definitely getting more focus, more attention, possibly higher prices. Decision making in AI sires as well, definitely so. I mean, these cows here, now you're going to go on to them, they're, I suppose, a consequence of it. They're both 4 and 5 star cows, genotypes, and on average what we're finding is the 4 and 5 star cows around the country are better calving interval, more calves per cow per year, age of first calving than the rest. Now everyone can find a cow out there, she may be 1 or 2 star who's doing a great job. Yes, she is. Why? Because her sire has, if you had 100 daughters, 70 of them weren't great on these traits, 20 of them were okay and 10 were brilliant, and you could have one of the 10. Genetics it's not an automatic thing. Unfortunately, the other 70 daughters of that bull that you don't know about have pulled down his index, and that's probably the biggest frustration with stars, Adam.
I suppose we have 2 cows and 2 calves here, Pat, and they're a really good example of, I suppose, breeding within the herd and within the suckler herd. You don't need to go outside the herd to get milk and fertility. These are Tom Halpin's stock from Kells County Meat. Matthew Halpin is here working with us, but they have bred through generations of continental breeding, but they've been mindful of milk and mindful of fertility all the way, and they've ended up with these really functional cows in terms of doing the business for them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Their details are on the boards there. People have a look at them. I mean, look, they're 4 and 5 stars. Why is that? As you say, Adam, because the background that they're coming coming through. Their sisters, their mothers, their sires have sired animals that have calved on the spot every year. The average calving into this year 355 days. I think the lady lying down, she's had 3 progeny already of graded U grade. This is another one here. No problem with them calving. They calve no problem every year. They're genotyped, which means that we can up our estimation as to how good they are from a genetics point of view. So if we were 25% sure that they were going to be good for calving, and when we genotyped them, we can up that by another 15%. So now we're 40% sure. We'll never be more than 50 or 60% sure until the progeny start coming through. But yeah, this is all out with a suckler herd now, and they have good calving interval, they have good survival, good milk and fertility throughout the rare calf. And this is where ICBF, this is where we focus our attention, is making sure we're getting more and more good genetics into the suckler herd.
I know on the ground these stock are doing the business for Tom. I suppose it's hard to sometimes get the full package that you had, good conformation, but you see the Seminole cow there, really wide pelvis, nice long length, and you see the calf she has on the ground. That calf is doing 1.6 kilos a day in terms of birth weight up to now. So really good performance. There's 4 daughters kept of this cow in the herd. So that again shows you, look, that cow is really performing, and you can say with confidence that if there was another heifer calf, I think he'll end up teaming out as well.
Yeah, and look, the big thing with this is just the breeds we have here. This story is the same across all the breeds. We've got good and bad, and we've got high stars and low stars. And the big thing that we're trying to do in ICBF is make sure that we have a throughput of new bulls through every year. So the 2 bullocks here, this fella and the lad lying down, are by what we call Gene Ireland bulls. So these are young beef bulls. ICBF will be involved with the breed size AI companies in selecting them, buying them, getting the semen off them. We put out a certain amount of semen to find out how good they are, which these lads are the results of. These lads are inside the tully. We're going to feed them on and kill them out, see how good they are, which will allow the AI sires that we bought to have better figures for the pedigree breeders then to use them. So this is a self-sufficient part of the breeding program. We're trying to find Irish bred bulls that are good for these traits that pedigree breeders can then use.
So in terms of using stock bulls, how does that help me if I'm using a pedigree stock bull? If the relations of that stock bull doing very well in Tully, then that stock bull's figures will improve.
Oh, absolutely, it will. And for any pedigree breeders or anyone there who's a stock bull at home, if you could use a small bit of AI, I know it might not suit you because that's why you have the stock bull, that would help out the stock bull's figures as well. Because you have your stock bull at home and his progeny, but if you have AI progeny as well, then we can compare them all against each other. And of course, your stock bull could be outperforming an AI bull.
Is there any standout performers for that Gene Ireland programme so far that you would say highlight that has done very well and done what it said on the tin in terms of looking at a bull?
Well, they're only just coming through now. We say 3 years ago, 4 years ago when it started, so only now are we seeing the daughters of them start coming through. But there are bulls coming through now with 69-70% reliable. The sire of this fella here, Curraheen Evolution, he's an AI now. His daughters are starting to come through. And the beauty of Gene Ireland is that we have a hand in selecting them, so we can go for the outcross bull. We don't want a bull this year who's related to the fella that was there last year, and every time you look through an AI catalogue they're all related. We're able to keep them diverse. So this year now, Adam, we're going to see the start of that semen coming out.
So you're going to follow these daughters through, we'll say, their lifetime to see how they perform and how they go back and calve, and how the wean will say what way the calves the wean.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had 250 herds nationally we put the semen out into, and they're commercial herds. We see what way they're performing before we put that semen into the pedigree cows.
Pat's going to stay around and we're going to talk to Pat again about it, and if there's questions at the end we can take them. Joe Burke from Board B.